Hi, if you are a staunch codependent, please read Earn Your Luck. It is going to be out on Audible at this point, probably when this comes out. But I want to talk about this tendency that we have as codependents to think, what more can I give? And that's actually like the subconscious, and that's why we're always drained, because there's this subconscious obligatory thing that's like, if I'm going to maintain connection with people, what more can I give? What more can I do? And if you're a staunch codependent, there is either your programming from your upbringing or your current life experience that has you operating on a program that in order to receive love, you have to give. So codependents, in my view, give to get what they want, and narcissists take to get what they want. And the two play off of each other, right? You can see, because if you are a staunch codependent who has this momentum of, what more can I give to stay in connection? You also probably recognize that you could never give enough for the people that you have to constantly give to maintain that connection. Like, there would never be enough. It would never be enough, right? So that is something to get really clear on with certain people. Like, yeah, you will do the thing that they want, and then it'll be a bigger thing, and it'll be a bigger thing, and it will never actually be enough. So for the people who are actually staunchly codependent in their momentum and their program, which is oriented toward the exterior to expand and to give, it's too diffuse, right? There is a stopping point, there is an edge. And also take soul centering after toxic shame, because there is an edge to a healthy auric field, a healthy personality, a healthy sovereign being. And the codependent, in my view, is full of themselves till they meet their edge, and then they're all diffuse in the world, and they don't care where that diffusion goes. It's like they're not even full of themselves. There's too much space in here. If they pulled all that energy back in, they would be within their edges, and they would know their edges, and they would stop at them, and they would be a whole person. But they expand through themselves, and then they expand into other people's, and you can only expand into another person if they have a void. So this is where I see codependents and narcissists playing off of each other, right? Because the codependent goes, what more can I give you? And the narcissist goes, oh, I hear that program running. What can I get from this person? What do I want from this person? And the way to stop this momentum is to, one, recognize you are a person too, right? And to say, instead of what can I give, because that's what we're always saying, what more can I do? I want this person to be at peace. I'm so hopeful for this person, and I would do anything. And we're sitting here going, what more can I do to basically like fix this person or fix this situation so it doesn't have to be painful for us? Because I can obviously see this other person's in pain. I'm not feeling that great. When we can really get back into our heart space and our guts, primarily actually into our guts, because to the codependent empath, really the way to get back into a heart-centered life is through the guts, because we're way too heady. We've been taught to stay up here to survive, period, to understand the psychological games of the people that were playing them on us, right? So we weren't allowed to have guts. And a lot of people talk about heart-centered lives, and that's great, but their energy orientation is probably a little bit more vertically congruent. Let me just say it that way. So what I mean by this is, I think that the codependent empath has to practice being in their guts, right? And saying, well, somebody said to me the other day, I don't know. And I said, well, how do you know when you do know? Like, how do you know when you're in there? When your guts are saying like, oh, I know this thing, whether the world's telling me I don't or not, right? So when you can know what you want out of a situation, instead of trying to constantly say, I don't know what this person wants, and I keep trying to give it to him, but it's not working. You're not in position, right? That's that diffusion of externalized energy that goes beyond the borders of your natural self, right? And we've been taught, don't get in here. It's painful in here. Don't get in here. But to come back in and to go, oh, wait, let me actually think about myself for a second. Like, what do I want out of this situation? And how would I know if I wanted that thing? That energy alone, people think, oh, I'm going to teach communication. I'm going to teach boundaries. I just cannot understand people teaching that if they're not getting to the energetics behind it. Like, communication is pointless to be taught if it's not backed by proper energetics, right? So this is really about this is not about you going out and changing your communication with other people or doing anything different. It's literally getting into position and starting there. That's the starting point. When you're in position, your intuition will tell you where to move your position on the planet, but you have to get into position and go, I'm a person. And I keep thinking about what I'm going to give, but actually, what am I going to get out of all that giving? Like, what do I want to get? Let's be honest about that. Like, what do I want to get out of this situation? What do I want to get out of my giving? And it's probably going to be this reversal of, I assume I'm going to have the person who shows up for me. I want to get the person who's at peace so I can finally be at peace with my life. All of these things that you go, okay, let me just start there and believing that picture without having to do work to maintain it or to get to it, right? Let me just believe in the person. Oh, actually, what I want out of this is somebody who shows up for me. Let me know that to be true and honor it in myself instead of, oh, I'm selfish because I want this person to show up for me and I can see that they're hurting and blah, blah, blah. When you can get into position and honor that, you are a different, much clearer, much more solid channel for communication. And those people are going to meet you in the middle in life. They're going to come to you because you're not all up in their shit, getting in their voids. They have to use their own voids to extend. They have to get into their own voids to come on out and meet you in the middle. So to switch the orientation of the codependent who's constantly going, I am literally bleeding out over here to show you my love. Like, you're a person too. You're a person. Pull all that blood right back in your body because you need it, right? And decide what you want out of the situation. And let that decision alone be enough clarity for you to stay in position and not waver from what you want out of the situation. Doesn't mean you have to do manipulative things to get it. Doesn't mean you have to do anything to get it. See, that's the thing about energetics and codependency and being an empath. Like, you don't have to do anything to call in that what you want. You just have to not exit. You just have to not exit yourself. And when you're very clear, that's the medicine, right? Clarity shows you clarity. It brings you a world of clarity. So when you can get clear and say, this is what I want, and sure, maybe you're going to have the, I'm disloyal, I'm selfish, I should feel guilty, I'm not allowed to want, this person can't give it to me anyway, so why would I want? You're gonna feel all of those tugs at your programming. When you have some guts to say, yeah, this is what I want, you're gonna feel those mental pulls, pulling your strings. Get out of your guts, get out of your guts. You're not allowed to want something, you're not allowed to have a will, right? You're gonna feel all of that. And that's when you just stick to your guts. This is what I want out of the situation. And that's going to hopefully bubble up into a heart-centered life in which you don't even have to do anything to communicate that to the universe and to the people in which you are operating in these dynamics with. I hope this was helpful. Bye, guys.